Well, good evening and welcome to our National Pan-Hellenic Council, or NPHC Convocation. I am Matthew Hammett, and I serve as the Assistant Dean of Students and oversee fraternity and sorority life here at Wofford. We are so pleased that you have joined us. This event has been planned in collaboration with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life, as well as the NPHC Working Group. Our NPHC Expansion Working Group is made up of students, staff, and faculty. And the departments represented in that working group include admission, athletics, advancement, the Office of Student Success and Center for Community-Based Learning, the Career Center, Modern Languages, Chemistry, ODI, and FSL. So quite collaborative. And it's a campus-wide focus on how we can build and grow our NPHC community through effective partnerships and support. And we understand how much the NPHC presence enriches Wofford and our approach to holistic student development. So as we focus our vision and continued work, it's about current and future students and fulfilling the cultural needs of our campus community. So I'm going to turn the program over to my co-moderator, Dean Taifa, to allow her to introduce herself, provide some logistical information for tonight's session, as well as to introduce President Samhat for some brief remarks.
Thank you, Dean Hammett, and good evening, everyone. I am Dean Taifa, the Assistant Dean of Students for Diversity and Leadership Development at Wofford, and like my co-moderator, I am delighted to be with you all this evening. To help each of you in attendance tonight learn more about the Black Greek letter organizations that make up the National Pan-Hellenic Council, our esteemed panelists, each representing an NPHC organization, will have up to 5 minutes to share information about their organization with you all. After each representative has had an opportunity to share information about their organization, the Vice President and Dean of Students, Roberta Bigger, will then deliver closing remarks. After Dean Bigger's remarks, we will then transition to the Q&A segment of this session. To best utilize the Q&A segment, the immense knowledge of our esteemed panelists, and provide an opportunity for students to ask questions directly of members in an NPHC organization, please submit your questions to me privately using the chat feature throughout the session, and make note of which panelists you would like to answer the question. We'll make every effort to answer as many questions as possible during the Q&A portion. However, we may not be able to answer all questions. If your question is not answered, please email your question to Dean Hammett after this session, and he will direct your question to the appropriate panelist. So at this time, please join me in welcoming Dr. Nayef Samhat, the president of Wofford College, for his welcome and brief remarks. President Samhat.
There we go. Thank you, Taifa, and I just will be very brief. Dean Alexander has put me on a very tight timeline, and I will follow it precisely, so, which is always necessary with me. First of all, I think this attendance is great. Almost 70 participants joining us on this panel, which is wonderful. I'd like to welcome and express my appreciation to our panelists who are with us today from the various organizations of the NPHC, and all the students and colleagues also in attendance tonight. It's just a great turnout for this most important event. I want to emphasize and reiterate our college's commitment to expanding NPHC organizations on campus. We've been working on this for quite some time, and a night like tonight is very, very important for the college and our students and our Greek system. We've demonstrated that commitment by submitting letters of support to an NPHC fraternity and one NPHC sorority, with others to come in the future. And of course, those letters have expressed our material commitment of the college to support these organizations and help them thrive on our campus. So these organizations will broaden our own commitment to creating opportunities for students to deepen their commitment to scholarship, service, leadership, sisterhood, and brotherhood for their lifetime. So this event is crucial and significant in the life of the institution, in the life of our Greek system on campus, in the life of all of our students. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you for those remarks, President Samhat. We'll now begin the panel portion of the event with Mr. Ken Peterson of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Mr. Peterson.
Thank you, and a pleasure to be here. A little bit about Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. We're the first intercollegiate, historically African-American Greek letter organization. Initially, we were a social studies group, and we organized ourselves in 1905 and 1906, and then evolved into a fraternity of December 4th, 1906. At Alpha Phi Alpha, we develop leaders, we promote brotherhood, academic excellence, we provide service and advocacy for our communities. Our aims are manly deeds, scholarship, love for all mankind, and our motto is, first of all, servants of all, we shall transcend all. We have more than 290,000 members, more than 730 chapters across the globe, and we've been accepting members of every race since 1945. However, more than focusing on those numbers, we really focus on the quality of the individual. At Alpha, it's about the better making of men. To live up to our aims, we focus on our national programs. A voteless people is a hopeless people, centered on voter education and voter registration. My brother's keeper focused on taking care of our older brothers as they need help, and go to high school, go to college, all around encouraging people to continue their education, and Project Alpha. As we started working with young men around the ages of 12 to 15 to help them understand building relationships, teen pregnancies, sexually transmitted diseases, really helping them with accurate information early in their lives. Locally, our Spartanburg alumni chapter, Xi Theta Lambda, of which I'm a member, we work diligently to live up to our fraternity standards. We've had 3 voter registrations events this past year, educating people on the 2020 census, showing them how the new voting processes will work, and registering people to vote, primarily teens who are voting for the first time, which is outstanding. With the advent of COVID-19, we've expanded our reach of the My Brother's Keeper program, and we've collected funds and contributed more than $500 to our local soup kitchen, the Spartanburg Soup Kitchen, knowing the need of our community. In terms of go to high school, go to college, and our Project Alpha programs, we've partnered with organizations to help with sex education materials, helping high school seniors, and encouraging them to continue their college endeavors. Our Spartanburg chapter, in Spartanburg, we also have a college chapter, Upsilon Alpha, housed at the University of South Carolina Upstate. And we take our aims to heart there as well. We focus with them on their education, but we also focus on those aims, taking in consideration those aims and our focus. They were recognized as the outstanding organization of the year amongst Greek letter organizations on that campus, and most improved chapter. And we actually had a brother who was had the highest GPA of graduating seniors in a fraternity. We're very proud of our organization and our founders, those trailblazers who've gone behind, the men of black and gold, people like MLK, W.B. Du Bois, etc. But we're just as proud of those men today who are serving in communities locally, doing the work of Alpha, and helping our light shine. So I'm excited to be a part of this panel and look forward to answering any questions. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Peterson. Next, we'll hear from Dr. Marchele Garrett of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Good evening. Thank you for the invite on tonight. Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated is an international service organization that was founded on the campus of Howard University in Washington, D.C. in 1908 by Ethel Hedgeman Lau and others. It is the oldest Greek letter organization established by African-American college-educated women. Alpha Kappa Alpha is comprised of nearly 300,000 members, approximately 1,018 graduate and undergraduate chapters within the United States, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, Bermuda, Canada, Dubai, Germany, Japan, Libya, and South Korea under our current leadership of Dr. Glenda Glover. Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority is dedicated to implementing programs of service that enhance the social, economic, and educational well-being of the local, national, and international communities. Our program theme is exemplifying excellence through sustainable service. The international programs include 5 targets that are designed to advance the mission of Alpha Kappa Alpha with excellence and underscore our commitment to sustainable service. Target 1 is our HBCU for Life, a call to action. It focuses on the education with an emphasis on historically black colleges and universities, our HBCUs. Congratulations to us for a 3rd year. We have raised over $1 million in one day for HBCUs. Target 2 is women healthcare and wellness. We want to raise awareness of critical health issues affecting African American women. We focus on breast cancer awareness, prevention, heart health, nutrition and wellness, and care for the caregivers. Target 3 is building your economic legacy. We emphasize financial planning, wealth building, including savings, investments, managing debt, and improving credit. Target 4 is the arts. We expose students to the art enrichment and culture by focusing on visual and performing arts, by highlighting talent through the exploitation of writers, entertainers, and various other artists. Our last target, Target 5, is global impact. We engage in programming designs to enhance the international footprint of our sorority. One of those things that we do for Global 5 is the Lions Club. We donate glasses. We also donate dresses for Africa. We also do t-shirts for little boys in Africa. So we are really high on our service. Our signature program, though, is called CAPS. CAPS is College Admissions Process. It is designed to assist students in their efforts to enter college by providing a hands-on approach that includes all the steps from researching various colleges to actually completing the application process. Alpha Kappa Alpha has maintained its focus in 2 key arenas: the lifelong personal and professional development of each of its members, and its membership into an organization of respect, power, and influence. Consistently, we are at influence and power and advocacy within Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. As you all well know, Senator Kamala Harris, last night in her debate, did a powerful job debating. She is also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Through the years, Alpha Kappa Alpha has used the sisterhood as a grand lever to raise the status of African American women, particularly our girls. Alpha Kappa Alpha has enriched minds and encouraged lifelong learning, provided aid for the poor, the sick, and the underserved, initiated social action to advance human and social rights, worked collaboratively with other groups to maximize outreach on progressive endeavors, and continually produces leaders to continue its services. These opportunities of service and leadership have connected with my commitment to serve and help others. During my undergrad experience, I had a chance to see Alpha Kappa Alpha membership display pride, passion, and courage, defending the rights of all and providing service to all mankind. These are key components of why I have remained an active member for over 24 years. Other reasons are lifelong sisterhood, where I can socialize, fellowship, and create genuine bonds of love, trust, respect, and share goals and interest. Lifelong membership and a commitment to service is key to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Garrett. And just a reminder for the folks in the audience, please submit your questions anonymously. So there should be a check mark that you can say submit anonymously. So please don't forget to do that. Now we will hear from Mr. Warren Posey of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
All right, thank you for inviting me to this panel. Just to give you a brief history, Kappa Alpha Psi was founded on January 5th, 1911 on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. We're one of the only, I think, out of the Divine Nine that was not founded at a HBCU. Our fundamental purpose is achievement in every field of human endeavor. We continue to strive and demonstrate that today, that our 10 founders put before us in 1911. Today, we have successfully over a couple 100,000 brothers throughout the country, with our most recent chapter charter in Dubai. We have over 700 undergraduate chapters. We have alumni chapters in each and every city, major city, designated by their city, per se Spartanburg alumni. We sponsor several programs, community service, which is typically called our guide right program. Within our community service and guide right programs, we have youth programs, a successful program here locally called our Kappa League, which we actually co-sponsor with Delta Sigma Theta, which we call our Kappa League Embody program. So we mentor young men from the age of 6th grade all the way up to seniors in high school. We continue to mentor those kids as they move on to college. Even some of those, I think, out of our last 3 classes, 4 of the young men have went on to become members of Kappa Alpha Psi. Social welfare and academic scholarships. We are very involved in the community, voter registration. We assist, we have a senior Kappa program where we go out and we help our seniors in the community. Academic scholarships, just for example, during the COVID-19, our Kappa Foundation, we issued out $300,000 to assist all of our undergraduate brothers by giving them a $500 free, I guess you say, a welfare donation to help them with their college fund, their college tuition. They had to put in an application, they received those funds. The core values of Kappa Alpha Psi, we have 5 core values: to unite college men on culture, patriotism, honor, and the bond of fraternity. We encourage honorable achievement in every field of human endeavor. We promote the spiritual, social, intellectual, and moral welfare of its members, and we assist in the aims and purposes of the colleges and universities. I think number 5 is one of the most important ones, as we have the university administrators here. We, as a fraternity, we are here to assist the university. As members, we are on the campus as a pleasure and as a privilege of the university. Myself, I've been a member of Kappa Alpha Psi going on 35 years now. I started my undergraduate at Appalachian State University through the Musalman chapter. There I served as pole mark. I moved to various, as I moved through my life, I moved to various cities and served on various alumni chapters. And the most important take that I get out of being a member of Kappa Alpha Psi is fraternity and brotherhood. And along with that fraternity and brotherhood, you get connections, you get all kinds of walks of life, you meet all kinds of people. Just here in the community of Spartanburg, we have, along with the other Divine Nine members here, we have key leaders in our community on city council, school boards. We have several, I think, a couple of members of, even in the other organizations, we have district superintendents. So being a member of any organization within Divine Nine is a powerful and wonderful experience. And if you want to learn more about Kappa Alpha Psi and its history, I definitely encourage you to visit our website, www.kappaalphapsi1911.com. There's a wealth of information about all our social programs, all our activities at our national level. At the local level, we pretty much mirror those programs. We may change them up a little bit to suit our city needs or our district needs within the fraternity. Again, thank you, Wofford, and thank you guys for listening on behalf of Kappa Alpha Psi.
Thank you, Mr. Posey. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Bernard Wheeler of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated to provide information about his organization.
Good afternoon, and thank you. So I'm Bernard Wheeler. I'm a 2002 graduate with Winthrop University. I'm a fall 2000 initiate of the Psi Kappa chapter of Omega Psi Phi at Winthrop University. I am also a native of Spartanburg, South Carolina, so this place is special to me. I currently serve as a commercial banker for First Alliance Bank over in Greenville, South Carolina, but I also currently serve as the bossalist, which you would know as the president of the Epsilon Nu chapter of Omega Psi Phi here in Spartanburg as well. To elaborate on the history of Omega Psi Phi, We're actually the first international fraternal organization founded on a historically Black college. On the evening of November 17th, 1911, Omega Psi Phi was founded in the Science Building of Howard University, located in Washington, D.C. Our founders were 3 undergraduates and an advisor. They are Edgar Amos Love, Oscar James Cooper, Frank Coleman, and Ernest Everett Just, who was the faculty advisor at the time, who actually is from Charleston, South Carolina. From the initials Greek phrase meaning friendship is essential to the soul, the name Omega Psi Phi was derived. The phrase is special to us as it is our motto. Our 4 cardinal principles are manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. To expand on those 4 cardinal principles and what they mean to men of Omega is a manhood, being responsible and accountable, scholarship, scholastic achievement, continuous learning, ability to teach, perseverance, seeing it through, never quitting as you have to realize that you're facing what every other man has met, uplift by reaching back to those as you achieve upon the mountains of success, and becoming a bridge builder in your community. So being a man of Omega means to surround yourself with great men with like minds and ambitions. Some of the national names that you may know of and you may have heard in the arts include Steve Harvey, Langston Hughes, Tom Joyner, Ricky Smiley, and D.L. Hughley. Athletics, you definitely would know these names: Michael Jordan, Steve McNair, Vince Carter, Shaquille O'Neal, and Terrence Trammell, who is a graduate in the University of South Carolina and is a 2-time Olympic gold silver medalist in the Olympics. For business, we have Brother Earl Graves, Thurman McKenzie, Nathaniel Bronner, who is the co-owner of Bronner's Beauty Supply. In the civil rights industry, we have Brother Roy Wilkins, who's a longtime executive director of the NAACP, Brother Jesse Jackson, Vernon Jordan, Benjamin Hooks, and of course, American civil rights attorney, Brother Benjamin Crump. In the education sector, we are represented by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who is better known as the father of Black history. Brother Benjamin E. Mays, who is out of Greenwood, South Carolina, and was the president of Morehouse College, a writer and a lecturer. In politics, we have Brother Lawrence Douglas Wilder, former governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Brother William Hastie, first governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Brother Clifford Alexander, Secretary of the Department of the Army. In science, we have our founder, Brother Ernest Everett Just, widely known biologist and professor at Howard University. Brother Charles Drew, who perfected blood plasma. Brother Charles Bolden, who was the head of NASA and a graduate of the United States Naval Academy. Brother Dr. Ronald E. McNair, who was also an astronaut and a graduate of MIT in physics. We have 10 mandated programs. Of those 10, we have Achievement Week. We have Scholarship that promotes academic excellence among undergraduate members. Social action programs, which chapters participate in activities that uplift their communities. Our Talent Hunt program, which exposes and encourages and provides financial assistance to talented young people in our communities. Memorial Service, Reclamation and Retention, College Endowment Fund, which each year the fraternity at the national level gives $50,000 to historically Black colleges and universities. Health initiatives, voter registration, education, and mobilization, where chapters facilitate and participate in activities to uplift their communities. The NAACP, every district, every chapter and fraternity is required to maintain a life membership, in which Tau Delta and Epsilon Nu has a life membership to NAACP here in Spartanburg. The Tau Delta chapter of Omega Psi Phi was founded April the 2nd, 1972 at Wofford College. Consider Tau Delta a trailblazer as the first African-American fraternity at Wofford College, which paved the way for numerous organizations to follow. With Brother Ross serving as their current advisor, there have been many accomplished brothers that have graced the Wofford halls and the Wofford's campus. From lawyers in the judicial system to doctors and brothers in healthcare, business owners, community activists, pharmacists, military personnel, which includes a 2-star general and Brother Rodney Anderson, educators, administrators, coaches. You have a current brother, Brother Alan Smith, that is one of your coaches at Wofford, and we're awfully proud of him. And yes, we have Hall of Fame Wofford athletes, and Brother Travis Wilson, quarterback, Brother Kevius Johnson, running back. The 48-year legacy that Tau Delta has established has focused on giving back to the Wofford community through educational events, initiatives, and activities that promote student life at Wofford. A brother that we're extremely proud of is a recent graduate, I believe in 2012, is Brother Travis Sabb, who graduated with a 3.8 GPA and was awarded Omega Scholars
and which led to a GE internship, which has launched him into a career with Bank of America. The Epsilon Nu chapter of Omega Psi Phi was founded June 10th, 1967. Over that 53 years of history, we have awarded out over $200,000 in scholarships and sponsorships here in the local Spartanburg community. Brothers of Epsilon Nu serve alongside the Brothers of Tau Delta, where we actively participate in voter registration, voter activation, passing out produce boxes on the weekend. We have a mentorship program that we sponsor over in the Bethlehem Center called the Omega Bridge Builders, in which we have 550 kids. Epsilon Nu has a rich tradition of brothers that include, and not limited to, brothers that are attorneys, judges. We have Chief Justice Don Beatty of the South Carolina Supreme Court in our chapter. We have superintendents, Brother Ridley Ross and the late great Brother Tyrone Gilmore, administrators, educators, bankers, business owners, leaders in the city on the city and county levels of the municipalities. All these leaders are within all sectors of the Spartanburg community. I like to think that attending Wofford gives you access to an alumni network. I also believe that through the doors of Omega gives you a broader network of individuals that have served and have walked in the shoes that you're currently walking in today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now hear from Ms. Dione Williams of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. I would like to remind panelists that we are on a 5-minute limit, and so please try to stick as closely to that time as you can to allow for questions at the end. And I did want to let students know that you can anonymously submit your questions to me throughout this event. Ms. Williams.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Dione Williams, and I'm so honored to join you tonight. I am the president of the Spartanburg Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. To start off, I would like to tell you a little about myself. I crossed in 2001 at USC Upstate with the Xi Iota chapter that consisted of Wofford College, Limestone University, Furman University, and Commerce College. At that time, it was Xi Iota citywide. However, it has been changed to Xi Iota. In 2017, I became the president of Spartanburg Alumni Chapter. With Spartanburg Alumni, our chapter service area services Spartanburg, Cherokee, and Union counties. It is focused on the Veteran Stand-Down programs, our community health and awareness day programs, Delta Gems, Delta Academy, March of Dimes, College Movement Day at USC Upstate, where our collegiate chapter, Xi Iota, is housed, and with Spartanburg Methodist College. We've also hosted heart health events, that show and hot topics, social action events, Pearls and Pumps Women Empowerment Brunch, and so many more. Since its founding on Howard University in 1913, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated has clearly distinguished itself as a public service organization that boldly confronts the challenges of African Americans and hence all Americans. In March of 1913, the founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority performed their first public act, which was the participation of the Women's Suffrage March in Washington, D.C. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority was incorporated in 1930. Our organization is a sisterhood of predominantly Black college-educated women, and the sorority currently has over 1,000 collegiate and alumni chapters located in the United States, Canada, Japan, Tokyo, Germany, the Virgin Islands, Bermuda, the Bahamas, Jamaica, and the Republic of Korea. In realizing its mission, Delta Sigma Theta provides an extensive array of public service initiatives through its 5-point programmatic thrust of economic development, educational development, international awareness, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. National economic trends such as unstable employment, the threat to social security as we know it, and the widening gap between wealth and poverty are the basis for the development of our financial fortitude problem in economic development. With educational, we have created programs to center around the youth, which is our Delta Academy program for ages 11 to 14 females, Delta Gems for adolescent girls 14 through 18, and our Embody program, which focuses on empowering males to build opportunities for developing independence. As an organization of predominantly African American women, Delta Sigma Theta is uniquely positioned to impact not only the well-being of its membership, but also the families and communities we serve. Nationally and locally, our chapter has really done some amazing things for the community and the world as it is. We have some awesome, amazing sorors in the forefront from the past and the present. We have Shirley Chisholm, who was the first African-American and first woman to run as a major party candidate for the presidency of the United States. We have CNN correspondent April Brett. We have songstresses Aretha Franklin and Andrea Day. Frankie Freeman, who was noted attorney and 14th national president. And she was also the first woman appointed to the Civil Rights Commission by President Lyndon B. Johnson. We also have some locally famous celebrities of Delta Sigma Theta. Some even came from Wofford College or are currently at Wofford College. We have Jill Littlejohn Bostick, Phoebe Clark, Kathy Franks, and our very own and your very own Dr. Jamaica Hill. Being a part of this organization has allowed me the opportunities to network and grow educationally and professionally. And strengthening our sisterhood means renewing and rededicating ourselves to the vision of our 22 founders, and in the empowerment of making sure that we all just take care of each other. Membership in Delta Sigma Theta is a lifetime commitment, and we honor and embody its principles every day of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Next, we have Mr. Kareem Johnson of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Thank you. So first, thank you to Wofford and certainly the esteemed panelists that's here. A little bit about myself. I was a charter member of the Gamma Alpha Gamma chapter at USC Upstate, chartered in the fall of 2007. And for those that may not be aware of what a charter is, obviously it's the first representation of that particular organization. So we're definitely proud to be the first fraternity actually chartered on the campus of USC Upstate. From there, I matriculated over to the grad chapter, Iota Pi Sigma. It was actually chartered in April of 1987 here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So, am I still being heard? I see there's a freeze on the screen here. Can you?
Yes, we can still hear you.
You can still hear me? Okay, because
yes,
yeah, everything else. So certainly the local chapter is the Iota Pi Sigma chapter, and we're absolutely proud of the brothers there in that chapter. We raise scholarship funds for local use every single year, and that's absolutely something that is near and dear to our heart, because we believe certainly that education is going to be the key up and out of whatever situation that you're currently may be in. So a little bit about Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. It was founded on the campus of Howard University, Washington, D.C. in January 9th, 1914 by 3 African-American male students. Founders, Honorable A. Langston Taylor, Honorable Leonard F. Morris, Honorable Charles I. Brown, wanted to organize a Greek letter fraternity that would truly exemplify the ideals of brotherhood, scholarship, and service. The founders deeply wished to create an organization that viewed itself as a part of the general community rather than apart from the general community. They believed that each potential member should be judged by his own merit rather than his family background or affluence, without regard to race, nationality, skin tone, or texture of hair. The desire for their fraternity to exist as part of an even greater brotherhood, which will be devoted to the inclusive we rather than the exclusive we. Today, Phi Beta Sigma has blossomed into an international organization of leaders, no longer a single entity. Members of the fraternity have been instrumental in the establishment of Phi Beta Sigma National Foundation, the Phi Beta Sigma Federal Credit Union, the Sigma Beta Club Foundation, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, founded in 1920 with the assistance of Phi Beta Sigma, is the sister organization of the fraternity. Our mission statement, culture for service and service for humanity, is definitely a promotion of brotherhood, scholarship, and service. If you want more information about Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, please let us know. We'd love to be able to give you a more in-depth background on the fraternity.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnson. Now I would like to invite Ms. Leach Lomax of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated to provide more information about her organization.
Thank you for having us. So I am the basilisk or the president for our chapter in Spartanburg, South Carolina, which is Gamma Mu Zeta. So, Gamma Mu Zeta chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. And for those that did not catch it, so just like the Lord had to look around and find the Eve for Adam, the Sigmas had to look around and find the she for them. And so that's how we became brother and sister, the only constitutionally bound brother-sister organization within the Pan-Hellenic Council. So that's who we are, okay? And we were founded on Howard University, January 16th, 1920. And Zeta's helping other people excel. That's one of our brands. A part of our brand is called Z-Hope. And what we do is we foster our scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finding womanhood throughout these United States of America and abroad. We have lots of firsts. And a couple of the firsts that we have are, we are the first to charter a chapter in Africa. We are the first to have adult and youth auxiliary groups, and those are Amici. Then we have little girl groups, Arcanettes, Amicettes, Pearlettes. We are the first to organize its internal affairs within the central office administered by a paid staff. And we have some famous sorority sisters as well. I'm just gonna name a few. One of the first Black student to attend the University of Alabama was one of our sorors, Authorine Lucy Foster, Grammy Award winning R&B singer, Selena Johnson, singer Dionne Warwick, comedian Cheryl Underwood, who was also our 23rd international Grand Basilisk or international president as well, to Wanda Braxton of the Braxton Sisters, Zora Neale Hurston, author of Their Eyes Were Watching God, Camille Cooper, first round pick of the 2001 WNBA draft of the LA Sparks. And again, our principles are scholarship, service, sisterhood, and finding womanhood. And our desire is to reach women all over the globe, be it they are degreed or non-degreed. That is why we have the auxiliaries that we have that are connected to us. So Amici are women who desire to be a part of a sorority, but have not earned a 4-year degree. And so they are able to become a part of us through being friends of Zeta. And that is what Amici stands for, AMICA. And our little girl groups are, they start at age 5 and they go up throughout high school to age 18. And my daughter, who is here with us tonight, but is probably not gonna wanna be on camera, she's been in our little girl groups throughout her life. And now she's in college at Claflin University. So she has reached beyond the Arcanette age. And I have to hold myself back from saying hallelujah. After everything, I just want to say hallelujah, glory. So that will be all. And our colors are the wonderful royal blue and white, in case you all needed to know what our colors were. They were royal blue and white, just as our fraternity brothers is as well. And those are the men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And that is it. Thank you again for having us.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next, we're going to hear from Dr. Mildred Huey of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated to provide more information about her organization.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Hammett, for inviting me. And of course, I also want to express my appreciation to President Samhat for allowing this panel to convene as the Wofford Terriers continue to conquer and prevail. As an alumnus, it's empowering to see just how resilient you are in the midst of this pandemic. So I greet you as a member of Xi Sigma Spartanburg Alumni Chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. I also bring greetings from the basilisk of our chapter, Mrs. Natasha Bothwell. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't also bring greetings from Ms. Rashida Liberty, who is our 25th International Grand Basilisk, as well as our board of directors, which is comprised of 38 national and regional officers who manage the sorority's 500 plus chapters in the United States and in several countries such as the Bahamas, Bermuda, Canada, Germany, the Republic of Korea, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. It is a pleasure to be a part of this panel of such distinguished Greek organizations. Since its founding at Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana in 1922 by 7 young educators, Sigma Gamma Rho sorority has typified sisterhood, scholarship, and service. We are the first and the only Black letter sorority to be founded on a PWI. What's a PWI, you ask? I'm glad you asked. Predominantly white institution. Our actions within our communities reflect the power of our founders' vision of greater service, greater progress. And as we approach our centennial year in 2022, our commitment to be that beacon light which shines so brightly requires us to create stronger and more powerful and extraordinary strategic partnerships and alliances. We are comprised of women from a variety of professions who stand strong in our royal blue and gold. Since its inception, Sigma Gamma Rho sorority has made a substantial impact both stateside and abroad. The sorority has a proud history of offering service wherever chapters exist within the auspice of the organization's signature program entitled Project Reassurance. That's conducted in partnership with the March of Dimes. Our chapter sponsors workshops and other activities that assist pregnant teens and educate teen mothers about the importance of prenatal and postnatal care to better understand infant care and child development. Through active participation in programs and through networking with other organizations such as the National Council of Negro Women, Urban League, NAACP, members including our affiliate groups, the Follows, the Roars, and the Rosebud, promulgate Sigma's legacy of service to improve the quality of life for all mankind. The service of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority from a global perspective includes Project Africa, which addresses the fact that African women who produce more than 75% of the food grown on the continent, we provide them with grain grinders. And our other project, Project Wanamujimu, which allows students to increase their knowledge of the historical and contemporary development of Africa. Of course, the title comes from the African proverb in the Republic of Uganda, which means from small acorns form mighty oaks. That's a great way to segue into why I joined Sigma Gamma Rho, because it is indeed inspired by sisterhood. It's ignited by service, and those mighty oaks that I saw were primarily Sigma women. I come from a family of AKAs, and quite naturally they thought I would be AKA, but they weren't my mentors as much as strong women that I saw like May Ruby Bergen or Catherine Davis or Esther Giles or Julia Bennett, or for that matter, Lil May Hill. They were so incomparable women of such strong stature and grace and presence, so much so that I was drawn to them to continue my association within the graduate chapter. So coming from a family of leaders, it was important for me to continue the legacy. Plus my passion is education, so why wouldn't I be drawn to an organization which was begun by educators? So yes, Sigma Gamma Rho was my sorority of choice because it is indeed inspired by sisterhood, ignited by service. I encourage you to Google Sigma Gamma Rho for additional information. And I thank you for the opportunity to share with you. And I thank you for your presence. Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. That is a direct quote from Helen Keller. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Huey. This has all been so helpful and informational, so thank you. Finally, I'd like to recognize and acknowledge Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated, which was founded in 1963 at Morgan State University and is also an organization within the NPHC. We were unable to secure a representative from that fraternity, but we definitely wanted to recognize them as well this evening.
Thank you, Dean Hammett, and thank you to all of our panelists for sharing about their organization. So at this point, I would like to introduce the Vice President and Dean of Students, Dean Bigger, to deliver her remarks.
Thank you, Dean Taifa, and thank you to you and Dean Hammett for organizing and implementing this very important program tonight. And as Dr. Samhat said earlier when we began, that Wofford is committed to enhancing our NPHC organizations on campus. And some of you who I've known, Mr. Posey and others, Dr. Ross for years, and some of the students and faculty and staff who are watching tonight, participating tonight, know that I've been at Wofford longer than some of y'all have been alive. But it has been my honor to work with faculty, staff, and students to improve Wofford and especially our Greek letter organizations and our Greek life on campus. Over 50% of our students are choose to join Greek organizations, and your organizations are phenomenal. As I took notes tonight, as I listened to your purpose and missions, it's very clear that Wofford's purpose and mission aligns with the purpose and mission of the Divine Nine organizations. And I appreciate those of you who called out Wofford alums who are in your organizations. And we look forward to working with the other organizations who have not yet had a Wofford alum or student join your organizations. And as I watched the vice presidential debate last night, one of the commentators commented that Senator Harris has, as noted earlier, is a AKA, but all the Divine Nine organizations are reaching out to support her and Vice President Biden. So that's so exciting to see the energy and enthusiasm of the Divine Nine organizations on an international level. Thank you again for taking your personal time to be here with us tonight and to help educate our faculty, staff, and students about these tremendous organizations.
Excellent. Thank you for your remarks, Dean Bigger, and for your support. We're now going to transition to the Q&A portion of the event where Dean Taifa will ask some questions of the panelists.
Thanks, Dean Hammett. There are way more questions than we have time for today, but I will do my best. And so the first question is, I think, a clarifying question. And Dr. Garrett, this question is for you. So when you say an AKA does service for life, does that mean after a sister is accepted, you'll expect them to do community service and make donations throughout their lifetime?
Well, yes, of course, but you have to be a member first. And we expect once you join our sorority that your membership will be long life, your entire life of, as she said, donations and service, because that's what we are. We're a service organization and we want you to stay for a lifetime. We have members who have been in the sorority for 75 years, 50 years. I celebrate 25 years next year. So it is a lifelong commitment. Yes.
Thank you. We have another question here, and Ms. Williams, I'm going to direct it to you. Do you have a personality type that you look for while looking for girls to join Delta Sigma Theta?
Not necessarily a personality type. However, we hope that what our sorority exemplifies nationally and locally matches just what you're looking for in an organization. Delta takes women of all creeds and color. It isn't a certain personality we want. It is just whatever you feel has called you to our organization. We just love to include everyone and give everyone the opportunity that they would like to have to be a part of our illustrious sorority. So no, we do not have a personality type. It's just, whatever you're looking for, we hope it matches with what we have to offer.
Thank you. And this is an open question to any of the panelists who are interested in weighing in. This person is a representative of the Interfraternity Council, and they are committed to being actively anti-racist and want to change the stigma in Wofford's Greek Village. This person does believe that one of the ways to do this is by expanding Wofford's Greek organizations to include an NPHC sorority, as well as strengthening the two NPHC fraternities. As students and members of the Greek community at Wofford, what are some of the best ways that this group can contribute to that effort?
I'll start. I think that it's awesome when it was stated earlier that, we're looking for Wofford to, align with our organization. So I think it would be great for the leadership of Wofford to just, reach out to us, reach out to the Divine Now leadership and have that sit down conversation and just discuss, what we can do for the organization and what the organization can do for us when it comes to enhancing the opportunities for that to happen. I mean, there were several chapters there when I was back there, when I was in college years ago. And for some reason, I know they don't have that opportunity now because of the stigma that has been put on collegians in certain organizations. So I think it would be great if we could have that sit down conversation with the leadership of the college as well as the D9 organizations to just develop a game plan of what we should do to be able to make things happen for Greek life there.
Yes, I agree with you. Joining a sorority is a big decision. Next to your major is one of the most important ones you want to make in college. And as my colleague said, it is a lifetime decision for a lot of us. Once we join a sorority, that's where we are for sisterhood for the remainder of our lives, because that involvement, that ability to network, it's just powerful. It's just extremely powerful. So we would love to have that conversation. We want to encourage the students to keep their scholastic aptitude because we do look at your GPAs and your attendance record. We want to know what your cumulative grade point average is because we have requirements for membership. And if that will encourage participation in our sororities, I think sororities and fraternities, I think we would all like to sit down and have that discussion with them.
This is Warren Posey, Kappa Alpha Psi. I think one of the things, the elephant in the room I like to discuss is I was a scholarship athlete at a predominantly white university, Appalachian State University. And one of the stigmas that Coach Bob Pollock had was pledging NPHC fraternity, I know from the male's perspective, would affect my performance. And that stigma still exists today with college coaches. And we know that most of the Black students at Wofford University are athletes, basketball team, football team, and various other sports. And they are encouraged not to participate in the Divine Nine by their coaches, which I think is probably illegal and unconstitutional. Every student should have the right to join any organization they want. To talk about this stigma, as a scholarship athlete pledging in 1986, I went on to become a full-time All-American, academic All-American. So Kappa Alpha Psi had no effect on my academic or athletic achievement. I graduated in 3 years in a semester, to be exact. So we need to push them to get rid of that stigma that becoming a member of our fraternities or sorority affects their performance academically or athletically is false and makes no sense.
To add to what has been said, I think we must start having conversations amongst each other. We must start having tough conversations to understand each other's perspectives and understand the shoes that another person has been in. If you can't understand what's going on in America right now and why this is a crisis, you need to sit down and have a hard conversation with someone that doesn't look like you to gain a better understanding. As far as the Divine Nine and establishing the Divine Nine there at Wofford, I would encourage a conversation with the leaders of Wofford, along with the leaders of the alumni chapters of these NPHC organizations, to make sure that we are able to find the caliber of individuals with the GPAs, with the background, educate them into what it looks like to join our organizations, and make sure that we're moving in the same direction on one accord. But again, you got to start by having the tough conversations in your day-to-day circles. Have the conversation with your friends, have the conversations with your peers, with your family. Have the conversation.
Yeah, I would agree with Mr. Wheeler. You know, and what Mr. Posey said, I was unaware of. I wasn't an athlete in school, so not knowing or now knowing that there's a stigma associated with athletes is that's stunning to me. In going through the intake process for Alpha, this is my 32nd year, so I went through in 1988, and my GPA actually improved. One of the things that is a focus for all of these Greek letter organizations is scholarship. That word scholarship is not there for just to have it. That word is there because it is intentional. We want people in our organizations who are focused on bettering themselves. And it really doesn't matter which of the organizations you join, that is foundational. So I definitely agree that some conversations need to be held if there are some false perceptions that exist, if there's some stigmas that are outstanding. Those are issues that need to be resolved. And then we can have discussions around how do we become a part of Greek Village when you have people who are actually interested and have the opportunity to join our organizations.
Absolutely. I see that Ms. Leach Lomax had her hand up, and we have 21 questions in the queue as well. So I just wanted to make note of that and also note of the time as well.
Okay, thank you. I just want to piggyback off of Mr. Peterson in regard to the scholarship. As far as GPAs go, if anything, being a part of any one of the organizations in the Divine Nine is definitely going to improve a GPA, because in order, we were on my campus, I became a part of Zeta Phi Beta in 1992, so I'm 28 years old this year in April. And one of the things that we were is we chartered everything. We chartered every academic organization on the campus. Zeta's chartered it. Everything that had to do with academic excellence, we chartered it. Not to say that other people did not eventually join in it, but we headed it up and everything. And what we did was we also pulled and pushed one another to do better, to perform better, because you had to have a certain GPA to become a part of our organization, and then you had to maintain that GPA. So you couldn't just be active and not have the GPA. So the GPA is important, and I don't understand how you all have that stigma, I guess, because I was not an athlete either, but I was at a HBCU for both undergrad and graduate school. And it was always encouraged because it was a fostering thing, because we're going to pull one another and we're going to push you because we want you to succeed. We want you to go above and beyond where we are. So our desire is to aspire you to be more than what you are at that time. So GPA is important. Scholarship is a must, and it is foundational.
I know we're at time, and I want to allow Mr. Stooks to make a comment. It seemed as though his hand was raised.
Oh, my apologies. That was an accident. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. All right, we are at time, and I know that there are lots of questions that were not answered in this Q&A portion. So what I will do is make note of these questions and submit them to Dean Hammett as promised, so that he can send them to the appropriate representatives, and then all of the folks on this call will receive those answers when we have them. Dean Hammett, do you want to leave us with any closing remarks?
Just want to say again how much we appreciate the panelists, the folks that participated as well. I hope this has been as informative to you all as it has to me. Again, we really appreciate your time and attention, and just want to, again, recommit our focus and the work that we're doing with the NPHC Expansive Working Group. We're excited about the opportunities. Yeah. So thank you all.
Thank you. And I would just like to reiterate something Dean Hammett said in uplifting our NPHC Expansion Working Group, because none of this would be possible without those folks and the collaborations that we have been able to make there. So I know some of those folks are on this call, and I want to just center them and uplift them and thank them for their hard work as well.